This is Coco today. Today's Thursday. It was Tuesday. We were going to the vet for a checkup, and she went into distress, and it became a very bad day on Tuesday. And, the vet said it could be any time that I have to put her to sleep. We're going to try steroids, which she starts today. This is not how she normally behaves. And I'm just going to let her wander around like that for a second. She does look through the yard like this. She's gotten very spacey, and I think she's letting go. She never generally sits down and does nothing. And yesterday I was setting up the weaving loom, and I tried to have her out here for a few minutes, and she sat down and she was like counting the leaves in the trees. She's on several medications right now, so she's a little bit spacey. But I came out here specifically because just to mention a couple of things about service dogs. Come on. First of all, she's 14, which is the expected life length of her breed, which is Dachshund and Whippet. And so this isn't all that surprising. At the same time, normally, this is what I wanted to do was 3 years ago get the next service dog and have the two of them, and then let Coco retire. And I didn't do that for something I call the Moochie factor. When I first adopted Coco 11 years ago, and see, this, she doesn't normally do this, get herself wrapped around everything. When I first adopted her, I still had one of my cats, and I knew the cat was old, but I didn't know she was sick. And what happened was I adopted the dog. They did get along. I kept them separate for a couple of weeks. But within 6 weeks, Moochie died. And I think what happens is that she knew I wasn't going to be alone, so the cat was able to let go. It was heartbreaking for me because I probably would not have gotten the dog if I thought Moochie was going to die early because of it. So that is why I did not get the next service dog a couple of years ago. I felt that even though now Coco's still alerting. I had a seizure when I woke up this morning and managed to say boo-boo, and she didn't leave my side. And I don't know, her legs are shaky. She's very kind of weak on her feet. This is the longest she's been out since Tuesday. Yesterday, I thought we were going to have to rush her back over there and have her put to sleep. This is really hard. So 2 things I want to say about service dogs. When you have an elder service dog, you have to really consider, like I said, normally I'd bring in the new service dog when you think your current service dog has at least a couple of years left. It should be a smooth transition when you do that. I decided not to do that with her because, like I said, Moochie the cat. The second thing is the expense. Now, right now I'm okay. I can borrow the money to pay for all of this and then pay it back later. I was thinking when I went to the vet on Tuesday, everything they were talking about was expensive. Come on, back over here. See, she's a little loopy. But it could be all the medications. Everything they were talking about was expensive. They wanted, a fluoroscopy. I would have to take her to a hospital in Boston. just the steroids alone that she's going to start today are $100 for about 3 weeks worth of pills. She'll be all right for a minute. I'm not going to talk very long. The inhaler, one of my biggest fears is, what if she goes into distress in the middle of the night? What am I going to do? The inhaler was $160 with the prescription. And I was thinking most people would have said on Tuesday, let's put her to sleep. If the steroids help her and I end up with a couple of months instead of a couple of weeks with her, we're talking, I'm looking at $600 or $700 just to have 2 months with her. And you really need to consider the life of the dog, the quality of life of the dog. But also, you know, like, I mean, she's fine for like 10 minutes and then we're like gonna head to the hospital. And everybody has to make this decision themselves. And it sounds like I'm babbling, but I'm not. I'm angry. I'm angry that to keep my service dog alive for 2 months, I'm looking at a huge financial investment. And it seems callous to mention it, but it's a main consideration. And if you don't have funding, I would have lost my service dog on Tuesday. And what a lot of people don't understand is that a service dog is like having a nurse. It's she replaces a home health aide. And people need to get that through their heads to understand that the funding for a service dog for veterans and disabled is vital. That seems like it wasn't a very good video. I guess you can give me some slack because I've had very little sleep, and you know, service dog or not, if she's just sitting and whining, it's very difficult. And the courage of this dog, this particular dog, when I say she's still alerting, she's actually still doing everything. And, you know, like we get up in the morning and she has this wonderful happy tail. The tail is always wagging. What are we doing next? And, you know, she has a disc problem, so her legs fail every once in a while. And she'll get up, run through the hallway, the legs will give out, and she'll, for a moment, drag her back legs, and then she'll pull herself together and keep going. And she does that for me. And that's why, even though that the video with me wandering around outside is not really the greatest video, my physician, when he wrote up my service dog letter, wrote that the dog is vital to my independence. And so I do get angry. I go over to the vet and typically, even though I have wonderful vets and they take care of the dog, what they don't understand is that I have severe PTSD. And to keep me waiting for an hour with no word on whether she's still alive or not was extremely difficult. The ride over there with not knowing if she was going to die in my arms. All of this, when you have a disability, makes everything much more difficult. And what people don't get is that, see, she usually likes to have her picture taken, and she doesn't feel well, so she doesn't want her picture taken right now. And I'm trying to make a point about, so getting her to the vet is like a huge mountain we climb, but we do it together. So the whole time she's in the back, she's actually worried, where am I? It's not really only a bond. It's she's a seizure alert dog. She listens to my thinking, She listens to my voice. She listens to everything about me and knows when I'm going to have a seizure. So 20 feet between the waiting room and the back room is nothing. And so the whole thing becomes difficult. And yet, the misinformation or lack of education of the public, she had her service dog vest on, and people expect her, here she is in crisis, and they were still kind of expecting her to act like your average golden retriever or black lab that, you know, nothing bothers them. People with expensive poodles, big standard poodles or labradoodles, or there was a big Marmaduke over there, and this poor little thing, you know, she's wandering around all these big huge dogs, and she's worried about me the whole time. I can't say it enough. A service dog for anyone with a disability, and especially any veteran, is like night and day. When you have a seizure and you deal with it yourself, you fall into how can I call 911? Who's going to help me? Then you think of homeless veterans. What are they going to do? They're going to die in their tent? It's a basic need, a basic medical need for anyone who has a disability to have a service dog and have some kind of available funding to help with the expenses. Now, I mentioned getting a second dog, and I'm probably not going to get another service dog right away, mainly because of the money, but also because Coco has been perfect, and I'm gonna go with what she's taught me for 11 years. She has taught me coping skills, and I'm gonna try that for a while, and that's probably gonna be where I end up because she's been perfect. But that's not the way it should be. There should be another service dog already lined up because this is a medical need, and not, oh look, I have a cute dog. And I just really need to keep expressing that veterans and disabled need service dogs. They need, a lot of organizations will set a dog up with a veteran. Practically nobody cares if a disabled person has a service dog. And I mean an actual working service dog that does all the tasks you need, is trained the way it has to be, that follows the ADA law, and not just having a dog that doesn't address the disability but is just a companion. Coco is much more than a companion.